He has been in Toastmasters since the 60s. He has seen a lot of change in Toastmasters over these past 5 decades, which is 6 now. He's been a past district governor, a member of many clubs, and a distinguished Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting a speech on Speechcraft, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. John Clarke.
Jim, would you like to pass these out? Fellow Toastmasters, it's a privilege to be here today and to share a little bit of my joy in my many years of Toastmasters. We are talking about today Speechcraft. Speechcraft is perhaps Toastmasters' best promotional program in the business. It's been going on for many years, and it goes back to the Smedley area. And so it is time tested. Throughout the years, it's been used by many clubs to increase individual club membership and to form new clubs and to bring Toastmasters to the attention of people and groups who are at this time outside of Toastmasters. A Toastmaster who leads and coordinates a successful Speechcraft program fulfills a requirement to become an advanced communicator gold. So it's a very well organized program. It can be done either as part of a regular club meeting, or it can be done outside of the meeting as a separate activity. The participants may become from the area from which the club is located, if it be a community club, or if it be a corporate club, it can find members for Speechcraft from outside, from inside the corporation. A Speechcraft course can last 4, 6, or 8 sessions, depending upon the time which the club feels should be allotted to such a thing like that. The courses, usually sessions go from 1.5 to 2 hours in length. Each Speechcrafter is given a handbook. These handbooks are not at all a lot different from your communications manuals which you receive when you first join Toastmasters. They consist of several study units which are the basis of the program. Unit will cover a particular feature of the Toastmaster program. These include subjects similar to the basic Toastmaster manual, such as icebreaker, speech construction using gestures, plus an additional feature, how to introduce a speaker or how to do an evaluation. The material is arranged similar to speech projects. The information comes first, followed by directions on how to give the presentation and an evaluation form. Now let's look at a particular Speechcraft session and see how it ticks. At the first session, members of your Speechcrafter class receive their manuals, and they're introduced to the coordinator and the coordinator has a team of advisors, and these advisors fulfill two functions, or really three functions when you come right down to it. They help the coordinator in giving speeches about the various facets of Toastmasters speech technique. They help evaluate the program and lead such activities as table topics, and they can also act as personal advisors for the speech crafters. It is possible that the advisors not be present at all the meetings, but usually you have a couple on the team, and they can alternate according to as their schedule goes along. Meeting number 1. After introducing what the program is all about, the coordinator or one of his lieutenants will talk about the icebreaker speech, how to give it, and at the same time, after the discussion on it, he will urge the speech crafters to think about preparing an icebreaker talk for the following session which comes along. Number 1. Number 2, table topics. I believe very strongly that table topics should be brought into the Speechcraft program right away. All right, so what we will do is the coordinator will set up a table topics session using the team of advisors as guinea pigs for doing this. So after the advisors have responded to the table topics as given to them, let's right away say to the Toastmasters to the speech crafters, would any of you like to participate and try your hand at it? If you have anybody who has courage to do it, one will get up, he'll respond, and what do you know? Another may take courage and decide to come along, and what you have here is right away your speech crafters are getting their first experience at giving a talk. So this could be the sum and substance of the first meeting we have for Speechcraft. The next meeting, you will see the program taking part. The sessions are usually divided into 2 parts. The first part we will call the instructional part. The coordinator or one of his lieutenants will give a talk on the point of emphasis for the particular meeting. Usually in the first meeting it'll be something like speech construction or something along that line. Subsequent meetings we may talk about gestures, or maybe we'll depart from speaking and talk about something like how to introduce a speaker. When you have a session about how to introduce a speaker, right off the bat, I think of the second part of the meeting, which I will call the laboratory part, because this is the part where the Speechcraft members have an opportunity to practice what they are learning from these Speechcraft sessions. The second session, you will hear the icebreaker talks being given. After an icebreaker talk is given, one of the Speechcraft team will evaluate them, explaining how evaluation works as he gives the evaluation. And as the sessions go on, Speechcrafters themselves may learn enough that they will be called upon to evaluate a speech later on along the line. One of the study sessions that we have is called How to Introduce a Speaker. After that talk has been given, then we turn the meeting over again to the Speechcrafters, and each one would be expected to come up to the lectern and introduce somebody else in the class. Maybe it'll be one of the members, or maybe it'll be somebody who's going to give a speech and take a stab at how to introduce somebody. So that's another way it will come along. So what do you see here again is teaching session first, laboratory session second. As the time goes on, then at each session, there should be less activity by the instructors and more activity by the Speechcrafters themselves. By the time we reach the last Speechcraft session, then in some cases they will have what they call a graduation ceremony. And at that time, the entire program will be handled by the Speechcrafters themselves. They will appoint their own Toastmaster and introduce their own speakers, and do their own evaluations. So it's a gradual process in which they are building up to the point where they will be able to carry on their own particular Speechcraft program. Now the speeches that they will give in this, you will find will parallel the speeches in the communications manual. And let's say that the Speechcrafters, after completing the course, will decide to join the Toastmasters Club, or maybe be part of the formation of a brand new Toastmasters Club. Those speeches that they give, including the icebreaker speech, or speech on building your speech, or speech on gestures, or something else like that, will count as speeches that are given in the basic manual. Even though they may not be as lengthy as we have for a regular Toastmasters meeting, they still count. Another thing, there is a fee charged to there's a fee charged for participating in a Speechcraft course. That covers the expense of the material, etc., and everything else like that. Speechcrafters who decide to come into the club can apply some of that fee money, which they had as a new member fee when they join a Toastmasters club. So they have that opportunity also. What material is required to put on a Speechcraft program? Well, we have a Speechcraft starter kit, which is available from World Headquarters for around $20. And that includes 3 coordinator guidebooks, 5 Speechcraft handbooks, that would be for the students, and 10 sets of advisory guides for the advisors from Toastmasters, which come along to help out on the program. And also certificates, literature, and other related material. And of course, additional handbooks and other material are also available from World Headquarters at an additional cost. It is a marvelous program. I enjoyed it. The coordinator who did the one down at the Federal Building a number of years ago, from which stemmed the Federal Building Toastmasters Club, was a marvelous lady, and she had everything together. What the coordinator does is to organize the program each time. And when you have a situation where you do not have a lot of time, maybe you only have 4 sessions, they skillfully will condense the program to such a state that it'll do the Speechcrafters the most good.
What's the most number of people you've ever conducted a Speechcraft session for?
Oh, you can do it for a dozen or so people. What they do in a case like that, Mark, is this. When you come to the laboratory session, you usually split the group in 2. And that way, everybody has an opportunity to participate. In other words, group number 1, they will do their icebreakers or their practice speeches over there, and group number 2 will do theirs. And so that is the way that you handle a larger Speechcraft group. And everybody has a shot in participating in the program.
I was surprised that you could have 10 advisors. So you could have, if you have 5 Speechcrafters and 10 advisors, that just seems, wow, crazy.
That's nice.
That's good. But
that's nice.
It's interesting.
But then your advisors, when I did the Speechcraft down at the Federal Building, I didn't make every meeting. Mm-hmm. But somebody else did, and so you kind of rotated your advisors, so everybody had an opportunity, and this also is good. What is nice about the advisor capacity, while these advisors may not get a particular award at the same time, they have the opportunity to learn, to mentor. I would say that this would be one way to encourage people in the mentoring program, is to get them to be a Speechcraft advisor, and then they can understand better how to mentor people individually. The advisor also gives the Speechcraft program a lot more personal touch in this way. Then they don't have to think, oh, I'm just going to come here and do this or do that or something else like that, because they will find out that in Toastmasters that we are very personal in the way we handle our meetings, and that's the way it should be.
keep going.